Well, silver, like gold, is a favourite haven for speculators when the going gets rough. But don't be fooled by that deceptive calm in the market. They're still sorting out the mess caused by the biggest crash in its history 2 weeks ago. And bit by bit, the true story is beginning to emerge. How a Dallas multi-millionaire, Bunker Hunt, tried to corner the market. Some people are even saying he engineered the collapse to pick up more silver, but on the cheap. It's a tale involving the Bank of England and a panic that brought the West's financial system within a hair's breadth of a crash like 1929. The true story is so good, someone may even bid for the film rights. Family of that television soap opera is based loosely on a real-life oil millionaire family who live in Big D. The main difference between them is that the real family have a burning ambition to corner the world's silver market, an ambition that led 2 weeks ago to the biggest crash in its history. The real-life star is Nelson Bunker Hunt, eldest of 4 sons of the Dallas oil tycoon H.L. Hunt, who died in 1974, leaving a billion-dollar fortune to the family. In 6 years, Nelson and his brothers, with their ranches, real estate, horses, oil wells, have turned that legacy into a $5 billion empire.
Well, I don't really keep track of never count my money. I just want to enjoy life, and I don't have to spend a lot of money to enjoy life. I guess probably I doubt if I spend $1,000 a month, yeah. But on my own personal success. But I don't know. I guess people are born one way or the other. They either like to be cautious with their money, or else they're inclined to want to be rather spendthrift. So maybe I lean in my personal affairs to being a little cautious. In my business, I suspect I'm on the overly aggressive side.
For many people, the family silver is their most prized possession. But silver is widely used in industry, in photography, in dentistry and medicine. It's still a monetary metal in many countries. The higher the price, the more it hurts to buy wedding presents, take holiday snaps. Gold might hog the limelight, but silver's always had a special appeal for the speculator. Bunker Hunt's ambition to own all the silver in the world takes more money than even he can muster. The only people with wealth to match are the oil sheikhs. Hunt persuaded a number of Saudi princes to back his play. At first they hesitated, but when the Shah fell in neighbouring Iran last year, they rushed in. Henry Kissinger has told brokers in New York privately that some sheikhs reckon they have 5 years before they too are overthrown. So it's prudent to save for exile, and silver and gold keep their value. The New York silver market is where the big players like Bunker Hunt stake their millions. With his own fortune now linked to Saudi billions, Hunt was the biggest player of all. When Hunt started buying silver in earnest in January 1979, the price was a little over $6 an ounce. Hunt watchers reckon that he owned about 50 million ounces. Hunt bought steadily throughout the whole of the year. By January 1980, when the price peaked at $52, Bunker Hunt had stashed away, say the market men, about 150 million ounces, between 1/3 and 2/3 of 1 year's supply. But it couldn't last. When silver speculators saw the gold price tumble, they started to take their profits in silver. Then President Carter launched a credit squeeze, and the banks who had been lending money to help the speculators buy silver called in the loans.
Meg, 20 back! 25 for me! 25 for me! I'm not doing anybody else's business. I will not do it.
Then, on March the 27th, Black Thursday they're calling it, the market nosedived. The price dropped to just over $10 an ounce, and the Hunt syndicate lost well over $2 billion that day in paper profits. What had happened was that Beish, Hunt's principal broker, had asked their client for more cash to cover the debts he had built up during his buying spree. Beish was in danger because of the market practice of buying silver on credit, on margin as it's called. If the price falls, the broker demands more money or margin to cover himself. When Bunker Hunt ignored the margin call, Bache sent one of their men down to Washington to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, set up in 1975 to police the market. Elliot J. Smith, a Bache director, asked the CFTC either to close down the market to give them time to recover, or force Hunt to settle out his contracts.
My interview or discussion with the staff members of the CFTC and with the commissioners, they advised me that they might consider A, stopping trading for 2 or 3 days and let the market settle down, but they would not in any way settle out the contracts. They advised me that morning that they had word from the Bank of England that if they stopped trading, it would be considered by the European market as a very bearish point of view.
What the Bank of England was telling the CFTC in no uncertain terms was that by closing the silver market, they risked a major financial collapse on both sides of the Atlantic. As it turned out, the Commission decided to do nothing and let Bache take their chance when business started the following day.
The situation was serious, potentially grave, but there's a philosophical line that has to be drawn. The CFTC is here to protect small customers and commercial users of the commodities markets. It is not here to protect large speculators and the brokerage houses that seek their business. That's what closing would have done.
How far do you think this whole affair has damaged the confidence of the people that you seek to protect, the small investors, in commodity trading here in the United States?
I would say that it has made people far more aware of the speculative, sometimes dangerously speculative nature of these markets. It will therefore make them more cautious. The lesson is probably all to the good in that respect.
But could it happen again?
It could conceivably happen again. I don't think the tools we had available were strong enough to stop it. I think those tools should be put in place so it can't happen again. We can't take a risk that something which comes out of simply a desire for excessive speculation is going to tear the financial fabric of the United States. We cannot take that risk again.
I would buy about 200 lots at $8.50 on silver, looking for £10 on the upside. Given the financial position you've got at the moment, 200 lots seems reasonable at this level, because the Arabs are going to move in later. They've been buying through the Dresdner Bank at current levels, and I think over the short term you're going to see £9.50, £10 at the current levels.
The silver market in London, second only to New York in size, felt the shockwaves at the same instant. British and American brokers are in constant touch by phone, so if New York is hurting, so will London. Dealing rooms on both sides of the Atlantic have been busy since March the 27th, clearing up the mess. So far, the big brokerage houses like Bache have either absorbed their losses, in some cases even made money out of the collapse. The banks are still smarting, although only one small New York broker has actually gone to the wall owing $4.5 billion. David Hargreaves is managing director of one of London's bigger silver brokers, Rayner Harwell. The atmosphere of Black Thursday is something he'll never forget.
OK, and I'll call you back on the next ring. Thanks.
What was it like here in the silver market in London on the day?
Panicky in the extreme, because you had a lot of people phoning, trying to save themselves money. Nobody was making money, everyone was trying to save money.
What were they saying?
They were saying, sell me out. Basically that, sell me out. And after a time it became sell me out at any price, which of course engenders a falling market.
How much money do you think went down the drain that day?
Well, if we consider that probably 300 to 400 million ounces of silver was trading on the market, and it dropped by an average of £5 an ounce over the time, that's £1.5 billion.
When the margin call went out to Bunker Hunt from his brokers, why do you think he didn't meet it? After all, he's not exactly broke.
No, now there are two stories going around, and I subscribe to the latter. One was he couldn't meet it. The second was he wanted it to fall. But I think the extent of the fall overcame even his ambitions. He wanted a setback so he could buy more. I think the degree of the fall really took him by surprise as well.
The Arab speculators in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf have burned their fingers badly. Yet when President Carter broke off diplomatic relations with Iran on Monday, they were buying into gold again. And where gold goes, traditionally silver follows. The sheikhs will recover their silver losses by cutting oil production to keep up the price and their profits, while others are selling silver to get their money back Bunker Hunt is in the market again as if nothing had happened. Before the crash, Hunt had been confident that he would never lose out.
You could if you did it on credit. I think in investing in anything, if you do it on credit, of course, if the price comes down, then you're in serious trouble. If you do it as an investment, paying cash for it, then I think you're, over the long pull, you're in pretty good shape.